called The Secret, which I'm sure you're familiar with, and basically means that you think positive and you kind of dream your dreams, and then they'll happen. So how do you do you subscribe to that, and what do you think of that?
Well, my view from a corporate Sufi philosophy is that there is some truth to that, meaning that you attract what you think of. You attract what you think of. I'll give you an example. I met Neeraj. I think last week we were planning this event, and I was going to Delhi. Okay, so Neeraj said, "Why don't you meet this lady? She's an EO member in Delhi, Shakshi, right?" Yeah. So he said, "Meet her." So Anil Bilawala, okay. Anil, he sent an email to Shakshi. No, email. He sent a text to Shakshi. Said, Neeraj Ambani has recommended Azim. Can you meet him? So she responded, "Is this an official text? Can you send me a proper official email that this is the correct thing that Neeraj just said and this whatever?" So Anil was wondering, why is she saying official and all that? So he sent an email to her with a CC to Neeraj. So I went to Delhi. I met her. So I asked her, what was that? He said, what happened? He said, last month I was going through some kind of whatever imbalance and whatever. So I Googled and I found you. And I was reading all about you. I saw all your YouTube, this, that, the other. So when I wrote this text, I said, something is not right. How did this guy come in my life, after 3 weeks? And then she said, even with Neeraj, they had some discussion last week. That's why Neeraj got in touch with her, and that's why he remembered her. In the process, I met her. Now, what my point is, there's some attraction going on. In terms of what you think, you invite. Shakshi was looking at my YouTubes and she invited me in her life. But these things happen all the time. These things happen all the time, but you know what? We are oblivious of it. You know what? We are oblivious of what's happening in our life, but these accidents happen all the time. Okay? Maybe towards the end of this session, I will share the story of how I changed from accounting business to accounting life, and it tells you how these signs are so important and how we are magnets in life attracting things. To me today, not everybody is here. Right? I believe, and I believe it very strongly, that by the time you leave here, you will take one message, and that's your point. You will take one message today that can change your life. If you act upon it. One message that can change your destiny. Now, if you don't implement, then I can't say it. But I believe you are here for a reason. Somebody else is not here. You attract things in life. And that's what happened to me. That changed my whole life. So, I believe that. Now, what the corporate Sufi, the way I look at it is, I feel that we all have power. I mentioned to you, we're all miracles. Some of us use our power wisely. Some of us misuse our power. And some of us never use our power. Some of us use our power wisely. Some of us misuse our power. And some never have any power, never use their power at all. If God or Ram or Jesus or Muhammad, whatever you believe in, came down and said, look, I will give you anything you want. Anything. Anything you want, I'll give you. And you have the belief and conviction that this is your creator and it's going to happen. What will you ask for? What will you ask for? Now you might say, oh, this is unreasonable, and it's not possible, and it's all hearsay. And guess what? You already have the power inside you to achieve whatever you want. The power is there. There is no shortage of power. The problem is you don't know what you want. You will be wishy-washy. You will say one day this, tomorrow you'll say that, and the next week you'll say what? Imagine, oak tree? Are you familiar with oak tree? It's a big, huge, mighty oak tree. And you go with an axe. You take an axe and you say, I'm going to conquer the oak tree. You stretch and you go and you say, boom! The oak tree will fall down. You will fall down, but the oak tree will still be steady. Nothing, small trifle will happen. So next day you have porridge and you have fresh juice and you have coconut and you go back with all your might, you go boom! Nothing will happen. Nothing. But if you go day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, one day, the mighty oak will tumble. As long as you go to the same oak tree, not one day this oak tree, next day that oak tree, nothing will happen. So big tasks can be achieved small piece at a time. Drop by drop, you create the ocean. Little by little, you achieve big things. My colleague and friend, Jack Canfield, who was the co-creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, they've sold 115 million copies. So I asked Jack, I said, Jack, how do you sell 115 million copies? So he said, Azim, when we wrote this book, I said, you didn't even write this book. You just collected stories from other people. He said, yeah, when we co-created this book, he said, Mark Victor Hansen, his co-author and him, had many, many ideas. Flip chart here, flip chart there, everywhere flip charts. Overwhelming, so many ideas. How do we implement? But they decided every single day we must do 5 things. Phone this guy, fax this guy, email this guy, attend this radio show, go for this networking function. We must do 5 things every single day. Small as they may be. Take half an hour, 20 minutes, doesn't matter. By so doing, they sold 115 million copies. Inch by inch, life is a cinch. Yard by yard, life is very hard. Forget the yards. Worry about the inches. Every single day, doing something towards your goal. So, coming back to your point, yes, there is. You attract things. What your dominant thoughts are. But the dominant thoughts have to be focused, not one day this, one day that. If there's lack of clarity, then you don't attract. Or if you have doubt, small doubt is too big. Small doubt is very big. If I aspire to be one of the top inspirational speakers in the world, one of the top inspirational writers in the world, if I have a little doubt, it's too big. I have to walk it, I have to talk it, I have to breathe it, I have to believe it. And guess what? If I believe, everybody else believes. You can see it in my eyes, you can see it in my body, you can see it in the echo of my voice, the twinkle in my eye, the smile on my face, my brows are unwrinkled, my heart is open, you can feel it. This guy's done it, he's the guy. Why? Because I believe. But if I don't believe, I can't expect you to believe. Something is missing. Something is not aligned. So, what do you attract? What are your dominant thoughts? What is your belief? What do you want? And why do you want it? That becomes very important.